This is Mac OS Ken.
Making lemonade out of the iPhone shortfall, angst inside Apple over the advertising push, and Apple is leaning hard into the whole soccer thing. It is Tuesday, the 15th of November, 2022. I'm Ken Ray, and this is news from Mac OS Ken, brought to you by yours truly and sponsored by SimpliSafe. Get 50% off your new home security system by visiting simplisafe.com/macOSKen. This show is also sponsored by BetterHelp, online therapy. I had a listener thank me recently for sharing about my mental health thing. What's weird is I never really thought about it that way. To me, therapy has been something you do, or something I do, when I don't know what else to do. That's what therapists do. They help us figure out the cause of challenging emotions and help us deal with them in productive ways. It can feel scary. I'm talking to a therapist. Try this instead. I'm talking to somebody who can help. One of the things I have loved about using BetterHelp takes a lot of the stumbling blocks out of the way. As the world's largest therapy service, BetterHelp has matched 3 million people with professionally licensed and vetted therapists available 100% online. Plus, it's affordable. Just fill out a brief questionnaire to match with a therapist. If things aren't clicking, you can easily switch to a new therapist anytime. Couldn't be simpler. No waiting rooms, no traffic, no endless searching for the right therapist. Learn more and save 10% off your first month at betterhelp.com/macOSKen. That's betterhelp.com/macOSKen. betterhelp.com/macOSKen. The production problems for the Pro end of the iPhone 14 line may give investors a chance to be pleasantly disappointed. That's sort of a fun way to look at a new note from JP Morgan analyst Samik Chatterjee. Apple 3.0 ran part of a note he wrote, which sounds kinda bad, which might make long-term investors kinda happy. The way the analyst sees it, problems with iPhone production in Zhengzhou, about which we have been talking for weeks, will hurt Apple's bottom line this quarter. Quoting his note, "We are moderating our iPhone 14, Pro, and Max shipment forecast in the December quarter, the first quarter of fiscal year 2023, by 5 million, and other iPhones by 3 million, and now forecast first quarter fiscal year 23 iPhone and total revenues to decline year over year relative to investor expectations immediately following the earnings print." A miss on iPhone, a miss on revenues. I guess we spotted the disappointing parts. As to the potentially pleasant bits, there are a couple noted by Chatterjee. First, he figures a lot of the sales missed in the December quarter will be made up in the March quarter. That's because historically, people who want iPhones will wait for them and buy them when they're available. That brings us to the second potential happy place. Some investors will be bothered by the shortfalls in iPhone sales and revenue. When they get out, his thinking seems to be that long-term investors can get in or add to their position at a lower price. The way he sees it, conditions may be setting up several attractive buying opportunities into the shares through to the year end. Mr. Chatterjee has an overweight rating on Apple shares. His price target on the shares is $200. Apple's big advertising push may be creating internal strife. That's the word from the information in a report highlighted by Apple Insider. There seem to be two concerns on the inside: junking up the iPhone experience and concerns around privacy. Or concerns around privacy. Advertising is viewed as an anti-privacy industry, says the report, whereas Apple is decidedly on the side of privacy being a human right. In other words, it might look and sound so much like a duck that people outside can't tell otherwise. As for junking up the experience, Apple Insider says at least 7 people who work with or on the ad team told the information of apathy among Apple's employees over the ad business. 2 said that some engineers took to internal chat rooms over it, expressing fears Apple could be going too far and potentially harming the iPhone's premium experience. While there is concern that Apple will take everything it knows about its users and share it with third parties, at least one secret person says Apple is not looking to be a Meta or a Google when it comes to advertising. According to the piece, executives are already pleased with revenue growth based on existing ad spots and apparently don't plan to significantly increase the number of ad spots users could encounter on devices. There's also news in the piece that is maybe bad for Apple's ad plans, but good for consumers. Quoting Apple Insider again, the focus on privacy for the company does add some limitations to the effort. The ad products team is effectively isolated from other departments, so the ad team cannot get developer details from other teams, information that is more easily shared internally in organizations like Google. You should be cool to do your 3-letter searches again. Whether looking for tar, an old something, or the start of a word, it seems that 3-letter searches in Safari for iPhone or iPad were making the browser fall down, go boom. According to a piece from 9to5Mac, the issue here was that when you started typing certain letters into the address bar in Safari, the Safari app would immediately crash. This means you couldn't complete your search or complete the process of typing in the URL of the website you were attempting to visit. Now, it wasn't just any 3-letter combo, according to the report. Syllables known to wreck the browser included the aforementioned tar and old, along with BES, WAL, WEL, STA, and PLA. For example, wrote 9to5Mac's Chance Miller, if I open Safari on my iPhone 14 Pro Max and start typing Wells Fargo into the address bar, Safari immediately crashes after I type the first 3 letters, WEL, into the address bar. The issue seems to have affected all versions of iOS 16, though not for everyone. Certain countries saw no issue, according to the report. If it was happening, it wasn't just you. Also, it should not be happening anymore. 9to5Mac says Apple has implemented a server-side fix for this bug. If you're up early enough for morning news shows, why? Also, you may want to tune into CBS Mornings this morning. The Mac Observer says the breakfast for your head people took a trip to Cupertino to chat with Apple CEO Tim Cook. In a 2-minute video clip posted to Twitter on Monday, Apple CEO talked about hiring during this wobbly macro. They're doing it, but they're being deliberate, as well as calling people back to campus. There's just something about being in the same space, you know? The clip also teases a look at new technology inside iPhone 14 that will probably not sound new to you, but maybe to people not listening to shows like this one. CBS Mornings is broadcast 7 a.m. to 9 a.m. Eastern. I have no idea what time other places. It streams through the CBS News app starting at 8 a.m. Eastern. I would imagine that interview will be available to stream by itself later in the day. Might be the way to go since there is no telling when it'll run during the broadcast. More news in a moment, but first a word from today's sponsor, SimpliSafe. Did you know that over the holidays, property crimes like burglaries and package thefts spike across the country? That is why the good people at SimpliSafe Home Security are offering 50% off their award-winning security system. Now, all the stuff that I have told you that I love about SimpliSafe is still there. You getting to choose just the elements you need to keep your home and family safe. You setting it up yourself. No strangers coming in. Just an easy setup that took me well under an hour. And 24/7 monitoring that sends emergency services as soon as a threat is detected. for less than $1 a day. Simply Safe will get you started now at 50% off the equipment, so that more families can feel safe and secure this holiday season. Simply Safe was named the best home security system of 2022 by U.S. News and World Report for a third year in a row, and now you can have it for less. Don't miss your chance for massive savings on a great security system. Get 50% off any new system at simplysafe.com/macOSKen today. This is their biggest discount of the year. SIMPLI. That's simplysafe.com/macOSKen. There's no safe like Simply Safe. Apple is really leaning into the whole soccer thing. Two tales today of soccer promotions tied to Apple TV Plus and Ted Lasso. First, a piece from Apple Insider says billboards are turning up in cities across the U.S. with messages for members of the U.S. men's national soccer team. This ahead of the 2022 FIFA World Cup, set to run from the 20th of November through the 18th of December. They're not just one message fits all messages. The one addressed to Josh Sargent in his hometown of O'Fallon, Missouri, is very location-specific, full of wordplay that sounds like it could have come from the mouth or marker of Apple's own fictitious football coach. Apple Insider says other such messages have turned up in hometowns and school towns of other team members, including Bergen County in New Jersey, Pico Rivera and San Diego in California, and Seattle, Washington. Of course, Coach Lasso can't have all the fun. Some is also saved for Coach Beard. Actually, this one involves the guy who plays Coach Beard. A piece from Cult of Mac says sportscaster Rebecca Lowe and Ted Lasso co-star Brendan Hunt are set to host a new podcast, After the Whistle, with Brendan Hunt and Rebecca Lowe. The piece says Hunt is a huge soccer fan in real life, with a love for the Premier League, as well as Major League Soccer in the States. The show will focus on this year's World Cup. The description in Apple Podcasts says Hunt and Lowe are teaming up to talk about all the dramatic moments, the favorites and the dark horses, the stars and the flops, with a few special guests stopping by along the way. The trailer says the show will run throughout the World Cup, so starting Sunday, I guess. You can catch the 1-minute audio trailer now on Apple Podcasts. This weekend apparently kicks off the holiday season on Apple TV+. The Cupertino company issued a press release Monday announcing a premiere date and a trailer for a new Fraggle Rock Back to the Rock holiday special. In a paragraph more whimsical than I'm comfortable reading, Apple says, "It's the night of the lights, the most fraggly holiday of the year, and the rock is filled with songs and cheer." When Jamdalin encourages Wembley to make a special wish, the Fraggles head out on an adventure to find the brightest light and, maybe, the true meaning of the holiday. Star power shines in Night of the Lights, with Hamilton and Central Park star Daveed Diggs voicing Jamdalin, plus Gobo, Wembley, Moki, Boober, and Red. The Fraggle Rock holiday special hits Apple TV Plus this Friday, the 18th of November, but it will not do it alone. After its one-week run in select theaters, a piece from the Mac Observer points out that the Will Ferrell, Ryan Reynolds, Octavia Spencer holiday comedy musical Spirited hits Apple streaming service this Friday as well. You can catch trailers for the Fraggle Rock special and for Spirited right now on YouTube. And finally today, the endless award season is swelling again. Apple issued a press release Monday announcing its 9 nominations for this year's Royal Television Society Craft and Design Awards. The awards are meant to honor the technical side of television produced in the United Kingdom. Apple's release says they recognize the huge variety of skills and processes involved in program production, from editing to lighting and costume design to digital effects. 5 titles nabbed the Cupertino streamer's 9 nominations, They include 3 for Prehistoric Planet, 2 each for Bad Sisters and the Essex Serpent, and 1 each for Slow Horses and Trying. It's not the first time at these awards for Apple TV+. The streamer picked up 2 RTS awards last year, one for 9/11 Inside the President's War Room, and another for Earth at Night in Color. This year's awards will be presented in London on Monday, the 5th of December. Today on the Mac Observer's Daily Observations podcast, TMO managing editor Jeff Butts and I will talk over the reported malaise inside Apple's ad team. Plus, code from a firm pretending to not be Russian ended up in apps used by the CDC and the U.S. Army. Yay! Jeff fills us in on the Daily Observations podcast from the Mac Observer, online at macobserver.com or wherever you get podcasts. macOS Ken, brought to you by me and sponsored by BetterHelp Online Therapy. Get 10% off your first month at betterhelp.com/macOSKen. This show is also sponsored by SimpliSafe. Get 50% off your new home security system by visiting simplysafe.com/macOSKen. Advertising handled by Backbeat Media, online at backbeatmedia.com. You can reach me a couple of ways. Info at macosken.com or call 716-780-4080. Until next time, that is news from macOS Ken. I'm Ken Ray.
Ciao.